Well, a new report finds popular breakfast foods and cereals marketed to children contain a weed-killing chemical. Some health experts link that chemical to cancer.
Our Alan Janae shows us that research discovered trace amounts in oats, granolas, and snack bars.
Zen Honeycutt heads Moms Across America, a group formed to raise awareness about toxic exposures. Her family switched to an organic-only diet after her 3 sons developed allergies and other health problems.
We want to trust that what is in the grocery store is safe.
The nonprofit Environmental Working Group, or EWG, had a lab test of 45 samples of products made with conventionally grown oats, and they found glyphosate, the active ingredient in the Monsanto weed killer Roundup, in all but 2.
I was shocked.
Dr. Jennifer Lowry heads the Council on Environmental Health for the American Academy of Pediatrics.
We don't know a lot about the effects of glyphosate on children.
EWG used its own more stringent standards to conclude that products with excessive levels of the herbicide included Quaker old-fashioned oats, Cheerios, Quaker dinosaur egg instant oats, Great Value instant oats, and Back to Nature classic granola clusters. Glyphosate was even found in a few organic products, though most had non-detectable levels. The World Health Organization says glyphosate is a probable carcinogen. The state of California lists it as a chemical known to the state to cause cancer. Monsanto disputes that, saying in a statement glyphosate does not cause cancer and has more than a 40-year history of safe use. And Monsanto criticized EWG's research, saying even at the highest levels reported, an adult would have to eat 118 pounds of the food item every day for the rest of their life in order to reach the EPA's limit.
We don't think it does enough in particular to protect children.
Alan Janae, CBS 4 News.
CBS reached out to the maker of those products. In a statement, Quaker said, "We proudly stand by the safety and quality of Quaker products. Any level of glyphosate that may remain are significantly below any limits of the safety standards set by the EPA." And General Mills told us our products are safe and without question they meet regulatory safety levels. The EPA has researched this issue and has set the rules that we follow.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Well, that video shouldn't surprise anyone who is awake. We all know what Monsanto is and what Monsanto is doing to us. I'm pretty surprised it actually made the news. It's kind of shocking in a way. I wonder if the person who produced that piece is alive at this moment, knowing Monsanto and who they're connected to and what their goal is. But what a surprise that we would find weed killer now included in some food like Cheerios. What a shock, right? And people wonder how all these diseases continue to just grow, right? Like everyone's getting cancer. Everywhere you turn, you see cancer walks. You see everybody wearing pink for breast cancer awareness, even though we're all aware. How about we cure it? Well, they have the cure, you see. They just don't release the cure to the people out there because they don't want them to know that they're actually the ones who are poisoning everyone. But you know what they'll do? They'll blame cancer on God. They'll blame autism on God. They'll blame all these diseases on God. Meanwhile, they're the ones who are putting poison and aluminum and weed killer in our food. When does it stop? When do people start going, this is unbelievable? Who is Monsanto? Why are they doing this? And then Monsanto comes out and they defend it and they say it doesn't cause cancer. Oh, okay. So let's all go eat weed killer. Weed killer, because it doesn't cause cancer. Monsanto says it's safe to consume weed killer. Dozens of common breakfast cereals and snack bars have found trace amounts of the controversial herbicide found in the weed killer Roundup, according to a report released today by Environmental Advocacy Group. The EWG found that 26 of the 28 products it tested at levels of Roundup's main ingredient, which is glyphosate. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but that were higher than what EWG scientists consider protective of children's health. Manufacturers say, and what a surprise too, right, that they're targeting kids' foods. Is that a surprise? They would be targeting kids' foods? Unbelievable. What this is just Baal worship, right? Because remember, I know everybody thinks it's like that, any kind of sacrifice is like, oh, it's got to be in a ritual and it's got to be, they've got to go through all this stuff. All these things count to them. The ones who are doing this to us and putting the diseases and, putting the chemicals in our food. And when people get cancer and stuff, they count those as ritual offerings. Think about it. Manufacturers say their products are safe, but the EWG report argues that the vast majority of foods tested, such as Honey Nut Cheerios, Quaker Simply granola oats, have the glyphosate levels that might pose a cancer risk with long-term consumption. None of the foods violated EPA limits on the herbicide, but the EWG uses a far more conservative health benchmark. California's proposed glyphosate limit, which would be the most restrictive in the country, still allows for glyphosate levels that are over 100 times higher than the EWG's threshold. Why is it even allowed, period? Even if there's even if there's the small, slightest chance that this thing could cause cancer, why would it be in our food? Why? Like I said a million times, go look at the side of a box of Cheerios, right? They're whole grain oats, right? And then you look at the side of the box, you're like, okay, I guess there's some whole grain oats and wheat or whatever. And it's like, Lavlush Lacolate, Phospholocolok, Poopadoopity. And people are, oh, okay, it must be safe to eat since they allow us to eat it, because we have to trust in the FDA and our government that they would give us the right things, because God forbid they don't want anyone to get sick, and they don't want the pharmaceutical companies to, to make all this money and healthcare to make all this money. No, they want us all healthy and active. The only time they're going to promote all of us being healthy and how we can all, there's no diseases anymore, this is the cure, because obviously they're doing this to everybody, is when the transhumanist agenda hits its 100% mark, when it's ready to go and they're ready to have everybody take the chip and the mark and become transhuman. They'll say, listen, when you have this computer inside you, you don't get sick anymore. But people out there, they just hear this and they're like, oh, instead of going, well, what the hell? What the hell's the problem? Why are they doing this? Why are these chemicals why would something like this that you can't even pronounce, what does it have to do with anything? That would be in the food. Oh, weed killer. Yeah, let's just dump some more weed killer in our Quaker oats. What's next? Why don't you just put rat poison on the side of the box, right? Go get some Wonder Bread, right? It's got rat poison, but don't worry, it still tastes wonderful. Right, Johnny? Yep, sure does, Mom. Right? Put some propaganda commercials out there and then call all of us crazy nut jobs. Boy. It says manufacturers are disputing the threshold. Of course they are, because they would lose money on it. General Mills, and they would lose, people wouldn't be buying their products, period. They ban them for life. But, there's enough fluoride in the water that people don't even care when they hear stuff like this. They're like, I guess I'll go have Cheerios anyway, because I'm not going to get cancer today, so I might as well have it. And then when they get cancer in a few years, they blame it on God instead of blaming it on what these people are putting in our food and dumping in our air with the chemtrails and the vaccinations. General Mills, whose products were also cited in the report, maintained that the glyphosate levels in its foods do not pose any health risks. The extremely low levels of pesticide residue. Yeah, because, when the guy comes to spray with pesticides, it's not like he's spraying a chemical. Oh, wait, he is spraying a chemical, but why not eat the pesticides, right? So next time the guy comes with pesticides, why don't you just go outside and open your mouth and say, spray some in? He'd say, no, we can't spray pesticide, you'll die. Oh, but it's okay to have extremely low levels of pesticide residue cited in our food. Oh, my goodness. And they say in the news report, a tiny fraction of the amount that the government allows. Why does the government allow any of it? Well, we know why, right? Why would they target kids? And then, they talk about this herbicide manufacturer ordered to pay $78 million to a cancer victim. Don't know how true that is, because this stuff, these guys, well, listen, we know they print money. Money's not a concern for them, really, or at least the people at the top. But, let's look at this rationally. What should this be in our food? Whether it's high levels, low levels, any level, why would this be in our food? Why would they be saying that there's pesticides and weed killer in our food and people going, whatever, right? Because the government goes, well, it won't kill you, and people are like, oh, okay. Yeah, well, might not kill you instantly, but it'll kill you in the long run. They won't tell you that. They'll just go, well, you're not going to eat Cheerios and then get cancer today because the levels are real low. But what if somebody eats Cheerios every single day? What if somebody's having Quaker Oats every morning for 5 to 10 years, especially a child? Oh, yeah, that's going to do wonders for their body. Having a little pesticide, a little glyphosate, whatever the crap is. Yeah, it's going to do wonders. A little weed killer here. What's next, really? What's next that they're going to admit that they put in the food is really kind of a funny question, right? And they come out and admit that they just put aluminum in everything, right? And the soft metals they put in our mouth with our, the reason that our teeth rot and we have all these teeth problems, these are all the crap in the food. And they go, no, it's not that. Oh, then how come so many people, if the fluoride helps in the water, why do so many people have teeth problems? All right, because everyone's drinking water every day and they're claiming they put fluoride in everything to help us. And I don't know about you, but I've gone to the dentist my fair share of times. We all have, with cavities, tooth pains. The older you get, it's just like, man, my tooth hurts. Oh, I wonder what it could be. Oh, because I'm putting all this garbage in my mouth. I'm eating weed killer. That helps my teeth. And, it gives me cancer too in the long run. So pour the Cheerios, Dad. Fill me up with some of that Quaker Oats. 20 years from now when I have cancer, I'll just blame it on God, not on my government. Because that's easier and convenient. That's what all these people do, right? Absolute joke. It's just an absolute joke. So I wanted to point that out to people. There should be an uprising against this kind of stuff. The FDA is the most corrupt. I know this. Well, you have the CIA, the FBI, and the FDA, and you have all these secret organizations, and then you have all these front organizations that act like they have our, best interest at hand. Yeah, the FDA's got our best interest at hand when they go, oh yeah, a little weed killer won't hurt you. Let me ask you, the listener, if you were the head of the FDA and someone came into your office and everything was, on your reputation, and they came in and said, well, we found some weed killer in the, in the Cheerio. Is it a big deal? Would you just be like, nah, it's not a big deal? Or you say, yeah, it's a big deal. Because if people find out putting weed killer in there, I'm going to lose my job. People are going to get sick. I don't want blood on my hands. But it doesn't work that way because they want this crap in our food. And they know that they can even release stories like this and no one cares. And Monsanto can come out and say, we know what's best. Use our dirt. Use our seed. Only us. Wonder why we're all forced with Monsanto. Boy, and people think we're all conspiracy nuts. They are so dumb. It's unbelievable. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.